Just be careful, nah, nah. Love ain't simple, nah, nah. Promise me no promises. Oh, nah, nah. Just be careful, nah, nah. Love ain't simple, nah, nah. Promise me no promises.
Test, test. We'll get started in just a minute, making sure there's no more stragglers. All right, welcome. Is it okay if I leave that door open? Is that light bothering you guys? Okay. In case there's some last-minute stragglers. It's LA. Everybody's late. Welcome to the Front Seat Tour. I am Josh. I am the Carpool guy, and I'm your host for this evening. Thank you for being here. You are part of an elite crew of hardy carpoolers, or soon-to-be carpoolers, that is helping us change the world. So thank you. I would like to start with just a round of applause for you being here and taking this step. Thank you for being here. Okay, now we get to the real deal. Who has carpooled with us, with Waze? Hand in the air. Okay, ever. If you've ever carpooled with us before, keep your hand in the air. Waze staff, hands down. You guys don't count. Okay, how many, keep your hand up if you've carpooled 5 times or more with Waze. Okay, let's go to 10. 10 times or more. 20? We have some hardy carpoolers here. We can verify this, so don't BS me. 30 or more. 50 or more. What do you think? Maybe around 50? You're positive you're 50 or more. Yeah, how many do you think you have? 62? All right, well, you, my friend, are officially a carpool hero. Yes. This is the official Carpool Hero hoodie, reserved for those that come to these events and have the most carpools, or if you reach 100 carpools, we'll typically give you one. So let's pass this back. Can I throw this to you? Thank you. Thank you, yes. Round of applause. And you got, sir, from Universal Music Group, how many carpools are you at? High 40s? Okay. So we're going to go with a Waze branded bottle so you can stay hydrated, as well as a car dock, a Waze Carpool car dock to keep your phone connected while you're driving. Here, bring this down. I'm a fan of you guys skiers. Yeah. He's already got the swag on. All right. And there will be more prizes throughout the presentation. You know, if you participate, if you ask a question, if you heckle me. No heckling. So here's the agenda. We are going to give you a brief, who's never carpooled with Waze before and is just interested? Okay, that's what I thought, most of the group. But you know what carpool is. So we're going to tell you all about Waze Carpool, and we are going to make sure that you leave here wanting to carpool more than anything you've ever done before in your lives, because it is going to save the world. So we're going to tell you a little bit about Waze and carpooling. We have some product managers who are here to give you a real deep dive. And they're here all the way from Israel and New York. So it's a very special day for us to welcome them. And then we're going to get to your questions, because I'm sure 90% of you are new to our program and you have a lot of questions. So we'll be there very, very soon. Let's dive right in. So you guys know what Waze is, right? You're all Waze fans. Our mission for many, many years, almost 10 years, has been to outsmart traffic together. The only way we can do it is together, on the roads, reporting the things that we see, driving with Waze on, so all of that data feeds into the mothership and makes all of your commutes better and helps us make the right choices for you, so you can be that guy up there on the highway while everybody else is stuck down below in the murk. And our mission has evolved. Over the last couple of years, we've been embracing a new mission because, let's face it, there's no new highways. Cities and governments can only do so much. We are more often looking like the bottom layer than the top layer. So our new mission is to end traffic altogether. We want the highways to look like this all the time. And the way that we do that is through Carpool, because our algorithms are at their max, right? We're doing as much as we can with the existing infrastructure to route you guys through all the shortcuts and side roads, sometimes to the chagrin of neighborhoods, but we're working on that as well with cities in partnership. So this is our new mission. All right, enough about Waze. Let's get to Carpool. Carpool powered by Waze. This is the Waze Carpool experience. And we like this screenshot because, well, it looks amazing, but it also highlights some of the features that we rolled out. Carpool has actually been around. We've been working on it for about 2 years. We've been in California throughout the state for about a year. And about 5 months ago, we launched a new experience that is very different. So if you've carpooled with us before about March, you saw a different, I would say, not as good experience. And now you see an experience that is focused on you, the user, and your choices and your preferences. And a couple of the choices that we'd like to highlight here are the ability to pick who you carpool with, especially with regards to people that you work with, and people of the same gender, and people who have the same interests as you. You'll see throughout the presentation, this is a theme. Choice, you and your preferences, and matching you, because if you're gonna be on the road for an hour or 90 minutes, you might as well enjoy who you're traveling with. So we'll get to more of that in a bit. So I don't know if you guys know this, but there's about 100 million users around the world driving with Waze. The US is big, but we're also really big in Brazil, in France, in Indonesia, Malaysia. There's a lot of really strong Waze countries, and eventually we want to bring Carpool to all of them. We're starting with the US, and Israel, because Waze was founded in Israel. We do everything there first. Believe it or not, 99% of Israelis have or use Waze. And while that number isn't as high in the US, we'd like to get there. But we have 100 million people monthly around the world driving with Waze. So it's a good base to start from if you're building a carpool service. What is our mission with Carpool? Basically, in one sentence, it's to connect drivers and riders who have similar homes or similar destinations to commute together on the best routes. And we're gonna give you the best routes because it's Waze. The challenge with Carpool is matching up people who are going in the same place and getting enough people on the platform so that we can give everybody that match, or multiple matches. We're gonna talk to you about multiple passengers in a bit. So what's in it for you? As Wazers on the Waze Carpool platform, you can always count on the trusted Waze community to have your back. These are people that are reporting things on the road, and from potholes to accidents to slowdowns to ice to fog to snow. And that same community ethos will extend into Carpool, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Hopefully you're gonna save time. I know there are HOV lanes scattered all over Southern California, and we can give you access to one with the Waze Carpool. Saving money, so gas prices are going up and up and up. What is it, like $4.30 a gallon now for premium, something like that? With Waze Carpool, you share those costs with your passengers. So as a passenger, your ride will always be pretty cheap, and as a driver, you'll get to reimburse that gas money and that wear and tear on your vehicle. It's good, it's a good thing to carpool, so you feel good, and you do good, and you feel good while doing good, and all that. And ultimately, you can help us on our mission to end traffic altogether. So I know there's other carpool services out there. Carpool itself has been around for about 100 years with varying degrees of use over that time. What makes Carpool unique? Waze Carpool specifically. So we think that reach, that 100 million users that we have around the world, is a really unique asset. No other carpool platform is gonna start with that many interested users. Data, so as I said already, we have the best algorithms, the best users reporting everything. We have Google data in the background now because we're part of Google. And our navigation algorithms and our ETA estimates, those are best in class. And that's really important in a carpool. We also have a lot of insights about the drivers on our platform. So if you haven't told us explicitly where your home or your work is, we can infer that. And when you start carpooling with us, we can say, oh, it looks like you're headed to work today. Try a carpool. And our brand. As I said, we have a very passionate community. You guys are all here because you're part of that community. You're wearing our swag. You're going to wear our sweatshirt. And it is the most trusted brand in the navigation ecosystem. I can say that even though we work right next to Google Maps. We know our brand is the most trusted. So to be clear, for those of you new to the platform, this is not rideshare taxis, okay? And there are some key differences. This is not Uber Pool. This is not Lyft Line. I'll say that right off the bat. Your drivers are regular people, just like you and me, heading to work, not in it to make a living, not in it to make a side hustle. These are people who have places to go just like you and are trying to get there efficiently with a friendly rider. With Waze Carpool, you're going to know your co-pilot. You will see a lot of information about them before you get into a carpool, and you'll be able to vet them, to whatever degree of that you like, with phone calls or in-app messaging and many other features that we're going to talk about in a second. We're not adding cars to the road, so we're not clogging LAX even more with those taxis and ride shares. These are drives that are happening anyway. So if a buddy of yours is going to the airport, you can probably hitch a ride. But we're not adding that drive to the road. And again, no income is being made here. These are you're sharing travel costs. You're making reimbursement for the rides that are already happening. And finally, in a Waze Carpool, we hope that you always get to score that front seat because it's a friendly ride. It's not a taxi. So at this point, I want to bring up one of our product managers, Dafi Z from the Tel Aviv office, to talk to you a little bit in more detail about how Carpool works from a product standpoint. Welcome, Dafi.
Hi, everyone. I'm very, very excited to be here today. And what I want to do in the next few minutes is take you very, very quickly through the main flows of the Waze carpooling. I know many of you haven't had a chance yet to see how it looks, so we want to share some of the screens, some of the features that we've recently launched, and get a glimpse at some of the features we are about to release soon. So one of the most important things for me to get through is share with you a little bit of the concepts and the ideas that we're trying to roll when we're trying to shape the concept of carpooling together. Putting 2 or more people in a car together, driving to work, is not an easy task. And we want to share with you what are the things that we're thinking behind the scenes, and also get an understanding of how you feel about it and what ideas you have in order to make it a good experience. So when we're thinking about Waze Carpool, we're thinking very, very local. As Josh mentioned, this is not professional driving. It's about people like you, like me, taking Waze, riding to work every day, maybe offering a carpooler, maybe a neighbor or a friend to join this ride. So basically, we're accommodating a list of riders and drivers and might be a good match for you to carpool with. And very often, we're being asked about safety. How do we know that we take the right carpool? And what we're trying to do behind the scenes is basically hand it over to you, have you the ability to choose. We set a lot of features, a lot of signals, a lot of hints to who you want to carpool with. So we can take a look at some of them. For instance, you can take a look at past rides. You can see the star rating that that person got from past drivers or riders that were carpooling with them. You can find little badges that carpoolers, riders, and drivers give each other at the end of the drive. For instance, was the car clean enough? Did this driver drive safely? Were they on time? These are all hints that can help you filter users that you want to carpool with. We encourage, and to some extent make our users, on board with a social network account. Social network account that you can dive deep into. You have Facebook, you have LinkedIn, and you can learn a lot about that person. What do they do? Where do they work? It's also a very good conversation starter. So we encourage people to do that. Another means that we have is the ability to filter the list. So maybe you feel more comfortable carpooling with coworkers. Maybe me as a female, I would prefer having a female driver taking me. I can do that through filtering the list and seeing people that I feel comfortable carpooling with. And last and not least, we ask people to add their phone number. Just notice it's not being shared. We work by proxy. But definitely you can call, and we encourage you to communicate with that person, ask some questions, make sure, especially if it's the first time that you're about to carpool with them, make sure that the pickup point is right, get a hint of what they feel like. That will make you feel much more comfortable taking the ride. Okay, so in order to be able to give you all this information, we are asking our users, riders and drivers, to go through a rather extensive onboarding flow.
Extensive? Comprehensive.
Comprehensive.
Yes, comprehensive.
We are asking for their specific routes, home and work specific locations, and the times that they carpool. We are also asking to add a social network, as I mentioned, Facebook or Google. And we make sure that they have a very clear photo of themselves, so you can take a look. And add their phone, as I mentioned before. But having done all this and going through this onboarding, you can be sure that everyone else that you see on the list has done the same. And that should make also clear that those people have real intent of carpooling. They did not randomly click a link or a button and ended up on your list. They have clear intentions of carpooling, same state of mind as you are.
Yeah, I know that there's still carpool requests happening on networks like Craigslist. People posting like, hey, I'm heading this way. And that could be anyone. Yeah. So hopefully we've alleviated the concerns around strangers.
Exactly. Okay, so you went through the onboarding. Now you get a list of people that you can carpool with. You will notice that this list is broken into groups. For instance, on this slide from the driver's side, you would see people en route that you have to do very little detour in order to pick them up. You will see other people that are 5 to 10 minutes extra, and other people that are more than this. Again, we give you the choice of who you want to carpool with. It's very likely that one day you're very, very busy, you don't have much time, you can pick anyone that is not on your route. On another day, you might be willing to take a detour in order to take the HOV lane. So again, we don't want to match things, force match. We don't know how you woke up this morning or what are your plans for the day. Again, this is up to you, and you can make sure, and you can be assured that the other side receiving the offer is always getting a good offer, meaning very little walk or very, very, very little detour. We make sure of that.
So every route, every day is totally flexible. Morning and afternoons,
exactly.
Every day you can customize.
Exactly. Okay, so now that you've been through onboarding and you have the list, let's see how you practically offer a ride. So you have those little cards of people you can carpool with. You tap one of them. Then you get all the details that you need to know about this ride. How much it will cost you, how much you'll get as a driver. Where are the pickup points? What are the times that you can be picked up within? You get a map with the whole itinerary and the route, and you can tap and extend and see the exact points. And as a driver, you can also edit the pickup point. All you have to do, all you have left is tap offer a ride. At the bottom, you see the big blue button. And this is not where it ends. We encourage you to do this action again and again. The system is built for it. As many offers as you send, you increase your chances of actually fulfilling this ride. So maybe sometimes people don't feel comfortable and say, what do I do if one answers? So I can reassure you that the system cancels all other offers. And we actually have a dedicated flow for this.
I do want to add that this example has a driver that has a pug in the car. I know there are some dog pools here today, so it's totally cool to carpool with your dog. Just probably want to let your rider know that there's going to be a dog there, just in case. No cats. I'm just kidding. It's up to you guys, whatever you work out.
Okay, so if you see the small rollback, if you see the small select button and you tap it, you basically move into a mode of multiple select. You can choose quite a few riders or drivers or a whole group and send an offer to all of them. And again, this is expected and encouraged, and do so in order to find rides.
So the first rider that confirms gets your ride, and
get canceled.
The rest cancel away. Yeah.
Unless. And this is a feature that we just recently launched. It's called Group Pool. This is for people carpooling together and filling up the car, not just one rider as we used to have up till now. Of course, it expands your chances of going on the HOV lane and extending the price that the driver can get for the ride, maximizing it to the max legal. So riders, this is the first phase that we rolled up. Riders might come across a car that looks like this, where they see a ride that is already fulfilled. They have a driver there, they have a rider, and they have 3 more seats left. This is a ride that you really want to take, okay? It has a very high chances of being accepted because they're going anyway. So try to catch those, and Carpool will fill up the car.
And it can end up being cheaper for you as a rider as well, right?
The price is the same.
Oh,
yeah.
My mistake.
Unless it breaks.
Right.
Down to max legal. Okay. Another feature that we recently launched, and it was launched for 50% of the users, as we try to test and make sure that our features are properly set and make the expected impact. So 50% of the users may come across this feature, and this is very interesting. This is basically a feature that was created by the community. It was suggested and requested by the community, and we followed. So you can see here people that already have scheduled with riders and drivers in the past. So you get a list of people that you already know, that you already carpool with. And what the ask was to make the process much easier. I don't want to go in every day, twice a day, find that rider, ask them if they want to join. So for those kind of people, you can simply tap the photo, and you get a screen that allows you to offer rides for the whole week. So with one tap, you can send 8, 10 offers, and you're done scheduling your carpooling for the week. You just have to wait for the ride to be confirmed. What else do we have? Okay, so now the ride is set. Okay, you have a driver and a rider riding together. And you can see here the Waze app as you know it. And the whole experience is completely integrated into the Waze driving experience. So drivers and riders both get notifications for when the driver is about to start, when the driver started practically driving, when the rider reached the pickup point, if they have a message between them. And everything is very, very accessible for the drivers, okay? We don't want them to be preoccupied, so all the actions are there. They simply have to tap, and it serves everything that they need on the different stages of the carpool.
So if you love reporting potholes or traffic slowdowns, or there's a police officer, you still get to do all of that during your carpool?
Yes, everything else works. Plus, you have the co-pilot now. You can ask them to do it.
Oh, right, the co-pilot. And your points. You still get your points for reporting.
You get your points.
Okay, I know you guys love your points.
So do we. Okay, so this service is growing, and many people ask me, I don't find riders on my ride, I don't have drivers, how can I use the app? So we're asking you to try and spread the word with us. This service is built on density, and it can only increase if we have more riders and drivers joining each route. So next time you want to take a carpool, you can go into one of the time slots, the one that you want to share, tap share, send it to friends, colleagues, Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, whatever is right for you, and try to target people that are carpooling on the same route. Alternatively, if you just want to share the idea without specific route, you can also do this under settings. Invite people or free rides, you can look for this label. And what's important is this invite or this acts as a referral bonus. So if that other side is carpooling for the first time, both of you riders get free rides, and drivers get a nice $30 for every driver or rider that they bring in.
I got it. Thanks. All right. So hopefully you're sold. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, stay here. Stay here. She's not going anywhere. Don't worry. Hopefully you're sold. Use the referral bonus, as she said. Like, the best way to build this service is to get people that you know and love and want to ride with on the service. And with $30 for drivers and free rides for riders, there's really no excuse. But there are other ways to get involved, and we want to highlight a few. So if you work at a place where you think carpooling would be a good fit, and your coworkers might enjoy, I don't know, a month of free carpools to and from your workplace, email us at employers@waze.com, and your workplace can join the Enterprise Partner Program, just like Universal Music Group, right? How's it been? Good? Yeah. You take a few free rides? You gave a few free rides, but you got paid. The driver still gets paid. The rider gets free rides. Can't beat that. So email us. You don't have to be in HR. You could be in any function. If you are passionate about carpool, let us know, and we will get your employer involved. Agents are standing by. If you've had a great experience in a carpool, we want to hear about it. So Waze is known for these like little jelly bean guys. I don't even have one on my shirt. You know, the jelly beans. But we want to tell the story of real people who have had awesome carpools. I met a guy in San Francisco who works at a tech startup who came to one of these events, and he was giving me a hard time about some bugs. And then I dove in a little bit. It turned out he had hired 3 people that he had met in different Waze carpools for his startup. He was basically using it like LinkedIn. Which is fine. We love that. I've also met a couple that met in a carpool, and I hope they're still together. So let us feature you. We've got, I think marketing releases were circulating earlier, but once you get a great carpool, let us know, send us an email, and we'll send you some swag. Follow us on social media. This is how you get the latest and greatest about updates, where we're launching, events that we're having, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. This is our Facebook app page. I actually want to show you a better Facebook asset. Wait, let me go back. Everybody got that? Everybody taking pictures? Awesome. We have a Facebook community with, I think, 1,000 or 1,500 members, where a lot of really deep discussion about carpool and features and requests and what you want to see and what you hate about carpool. And you guys, the app is not working this morning. What the hell's going on over there? Like, all that discussion is happening at the Facebook community group. So if you're really passionate about carpool and helping us improve, this is where you join us to talk all things carpool. We have webinars very frequently, at least once a month. The next one is later this month, July 25th, where you can find out more about what's happening with us. We'll send you notes on that. And then these front seat tours are going on all over the country. So we have one scheduled for the end of August. We haven't yet decided on a location. We're live in 6 states now. So it could be California, Washington, Nevada, Texas, Illinois, or Massachusetts. We'll see. All right, this is where we get to your questions. So we're going to start with a couple questions. You guys all submitted questions when you registered. We have grouped a few of those questions together. We're going to cover a couple of those to make sure we cover those. And then open to you guys with this wonderful cube, which serves as a microphone. Watch this. All right, we're going to toss it to you, and then you can speak into it. Show them how it works.
You can hear me?
Yeah, awesome. I know, Google has the best toys. Okay, so the first question, oh, sorry. The guy I just threw the mic to, that's Yareen. He's another product manager. Come up, Yareen. Yeah. Nice. So he's going to help us answer some of these questions too. The first question is Waze Carpool safe? Many of you have asked about this. Some of your names are on the screen, and there were many more. And we are here to tell you that it is. We've been functioning as a carpool service for 2 years. We have a lot of deep profile data in place for all of the users on our platform. We are not performing background checks. I'll say that right off the bat. I know some of you are wondering. Uber or Lyft and those services do, because they're essentially employing, workers. But we are creating a platform in the sort of vein and mode of Airbnb, where we give you a lot of information, we help you make smart choices, we encourage you to contact your host, your carpool host, and make a connection before you get in that car, and feel comfortable, and filter as much as you want. If you're only comfortable with people who work at UMG, then filter your list and only ride with UMG folks and trust that they've weeded out all the crazies. I ride with everyone, and so far, so good. So we are here to tell you things are going well. Next question. Can you tell us more about your carpool matching algorithm? Yes, we can. Can users modify preferences to guide the machine? Akil asked this. I'm giving it to Yareen.
Hey, guys. So first of all, happy to meet you all. And as you can hear from my weird accent, I'm also from Israel. So yes, there is a bit of a difference between matching, ranking, and filter that I will try to explain a bit. So what is matching? Matching is basically we take in driver and riders with the same route, with the same timing, and we try to fit between them. Okay, so driver, for example, we will get a list of riders that match his route, and we will divide all the riders by groups. Okay, each group, for example, in driver, the first group will be up to 5-minute detour, second group 5 to 10, and so on. Okay, and in each group we have a ranking. So users that are more active in this specific time slot and have higher chance to accept the ride will rank higher, so you will see them first. Okay, this is ranking. And the last one is filtering. Filtering is, we have another ability in the app that you can, for example, filter by gender or by workplace. So for example, if I will filter by workplace, I will see only people that work in the same place that I work with, okay? Exactly. So in filter, what end up happening is that all the people that not from our workplace, I will not see them. And also people from the rider side, okay, that are not from my workplace, they will not see me. Okay, so it's important to understand the difference. Okay?
And filters, you can always turn on and off.
Yep.
Like that's us giving you the power to see who you want and to have people see you who you want to see you. Okay, another question. From time to time, we are still experiencing technical difficulties. Wow, that's a euphemism for what is sometimes a very buggy service. We know that. How is Waze Carpool handling the bugs? And this time I'm giving up the mic.
So first of all, thank you for being very, very, very polite. We are aware of many issues that you may have come across as users in the last few months, or actually since we started. The thing is that we want to share with you is the balance that we constantly have to do between serving you with new features, getting out there things that the community requested, things that we know are required for minimal viable product. And before we end this list, we cannot stop because you won't be able to use it. On the other hand, we have stability bugs. We have users counting on the service, and we are constantly balancing between the two. We have now very focused task forces for specific areas of the application that we're trying to target and lift the experience in this area. For example, some offboarding issues that we recently had, some issues around benefits that were not shown. So we take this very, very seriously. We are very, very lucky to have a wide community that constantly reports back and gives us feedback on top, not of just if the feature is good or not, but also at this phase of bugs that happen in specific places that we might not be aware of, on specific devices that we might not be aware of. So we are doing a very extensive work in this, and we're trying to balance it with delivering new features.
Okay, so I don't know which user this is, but can I make an on-demand or unscheduled carpool request, basically a last-minute ride? Yoreen?
So first of all, sure you can. Okay, technically it's possible. You can go inside a specific time slot and request a ride for the upcoming 5 minutes or whatever you like. We as an app, we strongly not recommend it. Okay, the reason is because that the chances of those rides to happen are very, very low. Okay, we found out that most of the rides that people request them sooner, like few days ago, 1 day ago, have much, much higher chance to actually to happen. So now we actually recommend people to try to offer as soon as they can, but we know that as the product will grow and we will have more and more supply, those rides will be easier and will have higher chance to happen as well.
And they do happen. I mean, in the Bay Area where we've been operating for the longest, last-minute rides do happen. So in areas where we have more and more users and it's more dense, we can serve those rides. There's usually somebody, or sometimes somebody willing to go at that last minute. So we will get there.
I would like to add something. Also now with the My Carpools feature, it should be much easier to offer upfront. So if you have a schedule that is kind of steady and you know that you can carpool on specific hours, we recommend that you book ahead and then increase your chances of finding a ride for the whole week.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, let's go to your questions. Oh, there's a few brave souls. Okay, let's first start over here because the mic is over here. You ready to catch? Here, you can toss it to her. Thank you. Talking to the, yeah, that part.
Yeah, so a couple of questions. One doesn't really have as much to do with Carpool as it does with Waze, but I'll ask that first. And that is, since I've identified Waze to use, that's pretty much what I use. I don't use my car navigation.
Well
but
done.
I'm hearing so many people really aggravated at Waze neighborhoods because Waze is integrating into all these like low-key places that are no longer low-key. So that's one question. And the other is Europe. So how much is Waze being used? Like, is the carpool thing being used in, in Europe? and how easy is it to navigate Waze
Thank you
in like Italy and?
for asking the first question.
Thank you.
Of course. Okay, so I can take both, and you guys can jump in. The neighborhood routing issue is something we're keenly aware of, especially in Los Angeles, where where there are definitely some neighborhoods that are seeing traffic that they've never seen before. The first thing I should say is that it's not just Waze, right? So Google Maps, Apple Maps, everybody out there contribute to this, and we're actually all using all available legal roads when we route people around. So it's that these roads were not designed to handle the traffic that they're getting, but it's not like we're sending people into neighborhoods where cars are not technically allowed. But we're working very closely with cities and neighborhood councils to address these concerns. So there are actually many, many municipalities throughout Southern California that feed their data into Waze, and we feed data into their systems to help improve traffic flow. So this is happening, and I know that there are neighborhoods where maybe that message isn't necessarily getting through, but we are working very, very closely to ensure that if a neighborhood decides to change the flow of traffic on a specific street, which they are totally entitled to do, the Waze map immediately responds to that, and traffic routes wherever it's going to route around that. So we're working very hard on it, and we're aware. The question about Europe, was that a carpool question?
Both.
Yeah, so Waze is available in, 100 countries? Yeah, maybe close to 100 countries, all over Europe as well. Carpool is right now available in Israel, in the US, and we're dog fooding, which is sort of our term for testing, in Brazil. And once we launch Brazil, we're going to turn towards that part of the world that you mentioned. I don't have anything to announce at this time, but I'll be a little coy and say that I would love to be there very soon.
So, but would you say that Waze is as useful in Slovenia, Italy?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there are some countries where the Waze community is stronger and we have more map editors and more people reporting things on the roads, but the Waze map represents the whole world. Everywhere that it is legal to make a map, there are some countries that don't allow you to map them unless it's a government map in Asia and other places. So everywhere where you can make a map that is not, that is a user-generated map, we have maps. And there are some countries that have more users and more community interaction than others, but like France, Great Britain, some of the Eastern European countries are very strong Waze countries. So if you're traveling there, by all means, fire up Waze, and you can probably get a pretty good experience. Thank you. Yes?
My question is twofold also. So do you offer long-distance carpooling? Let's say I want to go LA to Seattle. And then secondly, I don't necessarily like people knowing where I go, so if I have a carpool, can we make it private?
Let me answer the first part first really quickly. LA to Seattle, we wouldn't be able to do because you actually would have to drive through Oregon. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
We have Seattle. No, I know that you have to drive through Oregon, but I'm looking to I guess you could go around, but I'm looking to the product managers because technically Seattle we serve, and we serve LA, but we don't serve part of the route. So how would that work, technically speaking? You don't know. Do you know?
Sure, but I think you can generally answer about...
Yes, so yes, you're right. So long distance rides are totally doable. It's going to be a little harder since we're focused on commutes and employers and that kind of a service at first. But as we build density, there's actually a Waze staffer based in LA who's from I think Modesto up in Northern California and took a ride from his home in Modesto, a carpool ride down to Los Angeles. I think he paid $15 for that carpool. So it's very, very doable and it's very cheap. The second question was, remind me?
Regarding privacy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
You want to take that?
Right. So if I understand it correctly, you don't want people to see where you go? Okay. So it's a bit complex because rider need to understand where you go if...
You have to tell us where you're going.
Yeah, if you announce it, but then when you have your car full,
sure.
Can you hide it?
Yeah,
yes.
By the way, once your car full, you disappear from the other list. Okay, so if you book a rider book with you a ride, okay, and your car is complete, other riders will not see you anymore. Okay, so once the ride is confirmed, that's it. It should cover it.
Yeah, and you can also choose a destination or an origin that is not your home or your work. You could pick an intersection around the corner from your house, and you could pick the gas station adjacent to your office, and then you're set. No one will ever know where you're actually going. I'm going to find out, though. Yes?
Yeah, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but or are allowed to, I should say. But is there any plans to integrate driverless cars into the Waze carpool program in terms of making it so you just push a button and a car shows
Yeah,
up?
so I can tell you definitively there are no plans today, because most of the testing for Waymo and our driverless car friends are happening in like Arizona and other places where we're not, our roadmaps don't overlap. Someday, sure. I mean, 10 years from now, when driverless cars are as ubiquitous as, Priuses, yeah, I think that would be great. But, that's 10 years away, and we're trying to solve a problem now that is here and now, which is, let's say driverless cars become ubiquitous. If everybody calls their own driverless car, we're still going to have the same problem out there on the road. We have to get people into the mindset of sharing, and that every empty seat in every vehicle is, something to feel bad about. Like our boss likes to say, you're killing the whales when you have like an empty seat in your car. He's crazy. He's probably watching on the live stream. Hi, Noam. But yes, we want people to feel like they have to share when they're driving, and that's going to really help all the future enhancements to the driving experience, because otherwise it's just as many cars on the road.
My second question is, how are the prices set? Because, for instance, I drove somebody and pretty much the same distance and kind of the same pickup, other than like maybe like a few minutes out of the way, was like one was $3 and the other one was like $6.
It shouldn't really be that much different unless the driver or rider change. You can actually suggest lower or higher prices depending on what you're comfortable with, but I'm going to hand it to a PM.
So basically, the price is based on the shared kilometers that you drive together. What happens today is that sometimes we route you a little bit differently between pickup points, and that causes a difference. Might not be that high, but it definitely causes issues, small differences for people carpooling regularly together. And we're actually trying to address this now, and we call it sticky. It goes same for pickup points, okay? Because the pickup point sets the route, and the route sets the price. So once we can get people carpooling together, like on a regular basis, to carpool, we fix the points of the pickup and the drop-off, then the price will be the same too. But basically, it's calculated by the shared kilometer that you take.
Okay, this side's been waiting for a while. Can you toss the mic over there? Oh, you have it? Okay, you and then over there. Sorry, guys.
Okay, I just had the same question about the prices, and then I was wondering, I think you had mentioned during your part that even the more passengers that are in the car, the price doesn't like change for the passengers. So then the driver's getting more money for driving the same distance. But
yes, up to the max legal. We are. Okay,
hold on. When she says max legal, I should have addressed this. 54 cents a mile is the maximum that you can be reimbursed as a driver and not have it be a for-profit drive. So drivers will always receive up to 54 cents a mile. That's the IRS limit on gas and reimbursement.
And then my second question, just quickly, is in terms of the kind of car that you're choosing, I guess, to be driven in, is that specified, or is that something that you should, I guess, talk to the driver beforehand and sort of iron that out before?
Yeah. So the driver on their profile, they are asked to put their car details, both the car, the type, and the license plate. But this is currently voluntary. They don't have to. And you can always text and ask them if you want to know.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Who was
just going somewhere?
I think.
Oh, I had a real quick one. I saw your graphics.
Short stopped you.
Oh.
No, it's okay.
Does it work on a Google Pixel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just you had the wrong phone up there.
It does.
Hi, I have questions about the employer enterprise program. So the first is for the max legal. If you have just two people, can the passenger be paying that 54 cents a mile? And then the second one is beyond that first month pilot where it's rides free. If you're looking at a more permanent employer commuter solution, like what do you have in the pipeline so that we can incorporate it into our commute programs?
Yeah, so for the first part of your question, during that first month of the employer partner program or enterprise partner program, the riders are riding for free, and the drivers are getting paid sort of the based on that 50 cents a mile limit, and Waze is paying that.
Yeah.
And then the goal is to prove to the employer that it is a viable option for getting people to and from work, and that it works. And then hopefully incorporate, subsidies maybe from the employer on that. So after that first month, riders start paying, but then we work very hard to prove to the employer that it's worth an employer subsidizing that carpool, and incorporate it into their holistic plan for commute mitigation and reduction.
Yeah, so long term, I guess, so I'm an employer and we're looking at a commute program.
Awesome.
And so what I've been trying to understand is, let's say it works out great, we want to offer it as part of our overall package, like where are you looking to plug in, so where the employer then has that verification access long term, or has a more, I guess a more either contractual or more formal partnership with Waze?
Yeah, so we are looking at a couple of integrations with service providers who might be sitting near you. Talk to the two people in front of you when we're done. That will help, some employers will sort of look at their whole commute pattern sort of programs holistically. So whether people bike to work, carpool to work, take the bus to work, take transit to work, and they want to prove that all those methods are working. So we're working on integrations to share that trip data with employers so that they can see how carpool fits into the overall plan. And then we are, if an employer doesn't have that kind of a software solution that they're working with, we can start to send reports of data about employers and how often their employees are carpooling, in aggregate to show them the impact of the program. So please have a conversation with the two folks sitting in front of you. All right, cool. Yes, over there.
Hi. Yeah, two questions. One, so there's an option you can put in your home and work, but some days I might be going to happy hour with workers and would want to get a Waze from there, or going to the gym before work.
Yeah, or a Waze carpool front seat tour.
So is there some way to put in like a third or fourth destination and then add that to the schedule?
Yeah, so currently drivers are limited to 2 rides a day, 2 drives a day. This is basically to differentiate and make it very clear that we work on a commute base, rides that are taking place anyway, and you are not making any profit or income out of them. This is a decision that we might consider down the road, especially for riders that should not have this limitation, but eventually the structure of the 2 rides a day is something that we try to pass as a concept. And we can see how it evolves.
But I'm saying that
as for the specific addresses, if you are referring to this, so on your settings, you can set your commute, your home and work, and that will be automatically matched for every week. On the weekly view, which is the main screen that you see when you open the app, you can change the addresses like for this day only, and we'll apply for this match, and then next week you're set again for the home and work. So you can just change the days that you're not headed home.
Okay.
And we'll remember the last few addresses. It's not like you'll have to put in like the gym address many, many times. I think we keep a list of the last 10 or so addresses that you've input, so you can change those each week to be, the gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays if you want.
Okay, and then second question is there any web UI where I can, do these?
Oh man, I wish. Come on. Oh, we have no web PMs here. What? It's on the roadmap. Yeah, it's on the roadmap. Yeah, we want that as well, because you want to just be at your desk and be able to manage it from work too. Yeah, it's coming.
The last question is, what was that? Is it employers?
Employers at Waze.com.
Okay, and does that have some sort of like I can use pre-tax dollars to?
Okay, so that's actually something that we're trying to change at the national level. So the pre-tax commuter dollars are set. The rules are set nationally, and carpool is excluded. Van pool is included. So if you've ever used Uber or Lyft to activate pre-tax commuter dollars like through WageWorks or something like that, technically a 7-passenger or bigger vehicle should come pick you up, and that vehicle should have at least half the seats full. These are like, again, national guidelines. I don't know that Uber or Lyft is actually following all those rules. Yeah, I don't think so. But we're trying to do some policy work because we're part of Google and have a little influence at the national level to include the definition of carpool as we are running this program that can activate those pre-tax commuter dollars. So we'd like to get that going soon. It's going to take a little bit of a policy change. All right, who else? right in front of you, and then we'll go over there. You're next, okay?
You mentioned that I would have to pick each trip. So each trip I'd have to go into the app and select my partners for the trip. Is there a way to pick it for the week or for the month, and then have the same partner continue to pick you up? Or?
Yep. Yeah, that was in one of the screens that we showed. So we just rolled that out with the My Carpooler section. It kind of looks like Instagram, those bubbles at the top, the Instagram stories bubbles, that's what I'm calling them. And so if you pick one of those people, like someone you've carpooled with frequently, you can schedule you can send requests for your whole week with them, or a group of people. Let's say it's 4 or 5 people. I have like 4 or 5 regular riders, and that's what I want, is to just tell them all, hey, I'm available for the week, book me. And that's what we've done. Okay. Awesome. You want to add to that?
Yeah. We're actually going to make the next phase of these features, like Josh said, it will be to offer all your steady carpoolers at one click. And also we will offer you new matches that we think might be good for you. So you can always try out new things, but also book with one click for the whole week.
It's like the I'm feeling lucky button. So we'll book all your regulars, but also throw a few in that you might consider. Cool. Yes, you, and then over there.
So 2 questions. The first is, with regards to the social network part of it, because you guys right now just have Facebook, but I don't really use Facebook, and I was wondering if you guys could add like Twitter or Instagram.
I connected my account to LinkedIn. I have LinkedIn connectivity on my account, so you can do that as well. But okay. You want to take that?
Yeah. We're always searching for new ways to extend the profile and to add more signals that we mentioned before. Definitely adding more connect options is planned. Not specifically, not tomorrow, not the next version, but we're aiming there.
And then there's the second question, just general, is just regards to the whole pricing thing, because I know, because I'm a driver, right? Yeah, and I live in Hollywood, work in Santa Monica, so there's like many different routes I can take, and there's been times where like mid-route, I think it was like on the Merit, no, it wasn't the Merit. It was like when the president was in town, and I had to take like a very out-of-the-way route, but the price stayed the same. So just the fact that they're not flexible depending on the different route that I'll take, I was just wondering, like, why aren't they flexible? But
the pricing is based on the initial route that you're scheduled to take. So if you've been rerouted or you chose to take a different route along the way, we are still calculating the original pickup to drop-off.
I think that was a nice way of saying we can't be responsible for the president's schedule.
I know, right?
It's just, yeah, he's all over the map. All right, so down there on the end, toss it all the way down. Somebody's going to throw it, right? Like, just throw it all the way. Yeah, there we go. Well done.
How secure is the data that's being shared from the users internally, and that how secure, or what's the commitment that Waze will not share the data with a third administrator, a third party, for whatever it is, or contract with advertisements, with companies to advertise within Waze? Great question.
So let me handle the last part first, and then I'll let the rest, Yareen, answer the data security question. This program is funded by the ads that already exist within Waze. We're not charging you a fee to connect you with another carpooler. All the money that a rider contributes goes to the driver. So, Waze has a thriving ads business. You've seen our pins on the map, or the little drop-down annoying ads at the top of the screen. Those are paying for this whole service. So that will still be there. We're not eliminating those ads, but they don't necessarily respond to the data that you put into Carpool. So you want to talk about data security?
Yeah, I don't have something like very new to tell, but basically we Google, so all the info is very secure. We will not share it like to third parties or stuff that you as a user, you're not agreed in the terms of service while signing up to the app. So
we have a huge, extensive privacy policy that adheres to every single Google standard of privacy. So I will say that probably before we were part of Google, we had a little more of a leeway to be like this wacky startup from Tel Aviv, but now it's like it's damn secure. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thanks.
Okay. Yes, up here. Yes. Oh, no worries. And then we're right at 7 o'clock. I know some people have commitments. We have swag T-shirts for you all in the back that look like this, and they glow in the dark. Yeah. So we'll take this question. We're not going anywhere. We have a bunch of people in shirts already. They can also answer your questions. And feel free to grab any one of us and ask us your questions one-on-one if you don't feel like the group thing is good. Please, last question.
Talk to the mayor because he's totally into cutting traffic in LA.
Garcetti? Yeah, I know. We are talking to the mayor's office. Okay, so Waze is partnered with many of the DOT and many of the city agencies in Los Angeles already. And there are council people who also care a lot about transportation. And so we've engaged with a few of them, including Bonner. So we're there. Thank you guys so much. We'll hang out.
Thank you very much.
And answer all your questions. Thank you. One quick announcement.